Hey everybody. Um, it's not a mistake, it's purposely black. Um, I just had a really interesting concept today, and it's something that most of us as women don't really consider or think about, but it's it's a question of when do you feel comfortable, or how do you feel comfortable with your womanhood, your femininity, um, what makes you a woman. And it's something that's overlooked because it's supposed to just be a natural reaction, a natural process, but it's not always. As far as me, I came to realize today that part of the reason why I've had issues is because I've always felt like I needed to be able to protect myself, to put on a defense all the time, not as an angry black woman, but as a strong, I will fight you if you think about it woman. Being defensive in the respects of I don't want it to seem like because I'm a woman, I'm weaker or incompetent or not able to defend myself. And so that's why, to me, I had to really think about it. And I'm like, this is a struggle that has been ongoing for me. This balance between, um, what I see as feminine, what I see as womanhood versus society. And I realized today, for the first time after really thinking about it, that I'm not willing to be a woman or not willing to play the supposed role of a woman, but it's a challenge when you know that when you are deemed as weaker, you are messed with. And when you are deemed as masculine to an extent, you might be tested, but you will be not as targeted, I guess to say. So today I was really thinking about it, and I'm like, dating has always been a challenge for me. And I don't know why, what's going on with me, what am I not doing, or whatever. And today I had to stop and realize, yes, I would love to wear certain outfits or whatever, but I don't. And it becomes a conflict with me because I'm like, why can't I feel comfortable, wearing, something more form fitting? Why do I always choose to wear something bigger or two sizes too big, or, have like a tomboyish vibe, which is not a problem. I enjoy my sweatpants and my sneakers and my graphic tees. Like, that's not what I'm saying, but why am I choosing to wear that versus the dress that I liked, or leggings? Why do I have to wear such big clothing all the time? And I realized that it's because I don't want to become a target. I've been rebelling against what society deems as womanly for a very long time because I don't want to be that level of statistic. And this only applies to me. Everybody's different. In my life, I don't want to ever be seen as a target, um, objectified, seen as less than. So I have been rebelling against that concept for years, and I didn't realize that that's what I was doing until I really did the work today and really self-reflected on myself. And I'm like, yeah, when they say rebellion is real, it is. Like, I didn't know the level of my rebellion, but to know that that's what the cause is like, it's disheartening, because it should never be where you have to basically subject yourself to unrealistic ideals of who you are to not feel victimized or anything like that. And so when it comes down to dating, I realize that when I date for a lot of different reasons. Who I decide to date has a lot of different factors. And when I finally feel comfortable, I'm like, okay, this is somebody I feel like I can, see a future with, because that's the point of dating for me. I don't date because I have nothing better to do. I don't date because I'm bored. I have always thousands of things to do. I have always thousands of plans. Like, I'm never stagnant or idle. And I don't need a lot of attention. Like, I'm good solo. But if I decide that, I want to build with somebody, let me, see how this goes. That's when I realize I become more feminine in a sense, because now I feel protected. Now I feel like if I decide to wear that dress, or if I decide to wear, whatever it is that I'm wearing, or just allow myself to freely be a woman, it's because I feel secure with that man. And I feel like, if nothing else, he'll protect me if someone comes and tries to be disrespectful. But the problem with that is, I realized today that if I don't feel secure with a man, or if I'm dating someone and I don't feel like they would protect me if it came to it, I revert back to my big clothes and my more rugged demeanor, because now it's like, yeah, you're here and that's great, but I don't feel like I will be safe. And that is a very eye-opening realization and revelation, because it's like, I really do date for security, and not the security of money or anything, but just to feel safe, just to feel like, I can depend and rely on someone outside of myself. And to me, that's the most eye-opening, relatable concept. And it does go back to prehistoric times, I guess, where the man protects the woman, and the woman, takes care of everything else. But it's a natural desire, So what made it unfortunate is the fact that that's how I was feeling. Like, okay, now I can be, now I can loosen my bootstraps. Now I can put my helmet down for a little bit. Now I can rest my back. I can just be free to flow in my womanhood, because I don't have to be on edge all the time. I don't have to be, so ready for war. I can kind of ease up, because, it should be okay now. And again, that is not a problem at all. Everybody is different. Everybody sees that differently, and that's fine. But that's just what has been occurring for me. So then it made me realize, okay, you're single. You want to express yourself, and you feel conflicted and restricted. What is the problem? So I'm grateful for my self-reflections. I'm grateful for my time with myself and my ability to break down these things that I get confused with. Because without these situations, or, without this honesty, a lot of things won't be resolved. And I was curious. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I was curious to how many other women, or men too, feel that way. Like, you want to be free to explore and express the parts of yourself that are not so easy. And you know that if you find someone who you can build with and feel secure with, you can be that. But when you're alone, you feel like you have to be a soldier at all times. You have to be ready for any and everything at all times. And you will still feel that way when you're in a relationship, when you're dating, whatever it is that you're doing, marriage, everything. You will feel that way. Because now when you have someone and you love them and you care for them, you're going to instantaneously and instinctively want to protect and guard them. Like, that's what love does. It causes you to now, by any means necessary, unconditionally be there for and protect what you love. But the level of protection that you have for yourself, how do you guys feel? Like, is it, because I'm a soldier all the time. I'm very strategic about what I do for myself, how I plan out my day, how I plan out my week. I make room and time for those I love, because that's what you're meant to do. When you care, you make time. Um, you know, but it's like you just want to relax, You just want to feel like you can be your full self. And now understanding where I stand with my femininity and my womanhood, it's like, in order to feel free to be my full self in that area, because that's not something I've ever really dealt with necessarily, which is probably a lot of the reason why I end up single as well. And I can be honest and say that when I do become single, I have a lot to do with it. And I'm not and ever going to deny my part in anything that has happened. And lessons come from failures, or lessons come from things that, you thought you knew about yourself, or you thought you knew about life. It comes with that. And that's why it's never a loss, because if you learn from it, you've earned and you won in the end. So I will always admit to my part of anything. I'm not ever to say it's always the other person, because it's not. And even if I see it as it being the other person, I still have to do the work on myself and say, okay, even if it was the other person, what can I do? What can I do next time, or how can I be different my next time with the next person, or the next relationship, or the next friendship, or whatever it is that happened? What can I do to better myself? So it's an interesting journey, and a really different way of looking at it that I hadn't considered until today. And I'm grateful for the time and the situations and the lessons that caused me to think about things a little more different, or from a different angle. And I'm also grateful for my willingness to do so, because it's not easy to say, you know what, I'm a problem, or not even only that you may be a problem, but maybe there's some underlining issues here. Those things hurt. The undertones hurt because they are enrooted in things that maybe you don't want to deal with right now, or you never wanted to unlock. There's some triggers and some traumas. So, unfortunately, those are the things that help you grow. And being able to and willing to deal with those things up front and work through them is the best thing you can do. It's hard. It's hurtful depending on what the root is. And it's okay. Because if you don't really know what that is, you can't grow and develop. And you'll be stunted for yourself, others, in your future. So I'm curious, like, what do you guys think about that level? Do you have you ever thought about what causes you to not be your full self? What keeps that part of you locked in? Why do you lock that in? And as women, do you have issues with being open as a woman and walking in your sensual nature, your sexual nature even, just being able to fully accept yourself as a full woman, and flaunting that? And those who can, I applaud you. I don't have who did she think? I don't ever feel that way. I feel like if you're willing and able to flaunt, look, I am a woman and I am great, and walking that with straight confidence, I applaud you, because that is a lot, especially in the way the world is set up and how women are demeaned and attacked and just treated so crazy, especially now with all of these women disappearing, and to still have the strength to say, look, I am a proud woman and I flaunt that, is amazing. And I applaud you all so much for that, because that's a level of strength that is beyond words. So it's commendable, and it's even appreciated, because with you all, you make it easier for women like me, who is just like, I've only seen, I've not seen that. I've only seen soldiers. Like, you got to be strong. You got to be ready to fight. You got to be ready at all times. I've never seen, that level of pride as a woman in womanhood. So it gives me something to ponder about and really reflect on for myself. Like, why am I, what do I need to work on? What parts of myself do I need to explore in regards to my ideology of what a woman is for me? Because everybody's idea of what womanhood, manhood, strength, all of those things are different. We don't all have the same ideas, and that's a great thing, because then we can easily reflect and share and transfer information, because we're not all the same. So, it's just something to think about if you never have. And it's something to think about if you have had that issue. Believe me, you're not alone at all. I can honestly say, hi, my name is Siobhan, and I have concerns that I will work with and work on. And if you have had these concerns as well, and you've gone through it and you've worked through it, share that too. How did you do that? What was your process? What was your breaking point? What was your point of saying, you know what, this isn't working. I need to start this process. Like, what was that like? You know, and let's share. Because it's important to uplift and show concern and support, because everybody goes through many things. And to know that there is support in a relatable person out there does help tremendously. So thank you all. I appreciate your attendance, your ears, your attention. And I hope you all have a good and blessed weekend and night.